Republican Representative Lauren Boebert's financial troubles, meaning her financial disclosures and her campaign finance issues, may have gotten a hell of a lot worse this week thanks to a phenomenal bit of reporting by the Daily Beast. See, as it came out last week, Lauren Boebert conveniently forgot to mention a little over $1 million that her husband made as a consultant for a fossil fuel company. She has filed an amended report, but as the Daily Beast points out, she seems to still have left out a lot of information. And again, as it was reported last week, her husband, Jason Boebert, made this money through his consulting firm, Boebert Consulting. Well, see, according to the energy company, Boebert was in fact a shift worker. Shift worker. Now, doesn't that sound like a regular employee, like a shift worker? It's what you are if you work at any place that has specific shifts they give you, McDonald's, Walmart, whatever it is. But they paid him through this little consulting firm. So right there, folks, that's the first red flag. Like, why would you classify him as a shift worker, yet pay him as a consultant? That doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. And then things really start to get screwy. As I mentioned, this money went to Boebert Consulting, or at least it appeared to. Because it turns out there's another company involved. And this is a company that is directly tied to Lauren herself. And that would be JLB 903 LLC. I know, cute name, it all rhymes. It's fun, right? Well, you see, JLB 903 LLC took over Boebert Consulting. They were listed on the paperwork as having taken control of that company. So you have a company owned by the husband, another company that might actually be owned by Lauren herself, and this company over here has now taken over this one during the time period for which Jason reportedly made $1 million over 2019 and 2020 doing his consulting work. And then at one point, JLB 903 gave the rights back to Boebert Consulting, who then almost immediately gave it right back to JLB 903 LLC. And most of this happened before Lauren Boebert ever even launched her campaign for Congress. And then, of course, in her financial disclosure, there's no mention of JLB 903, even though some of the money went through there. So we still have missing information on her financial disclosure forms. It wasn't disclosed when she was campaigning. And if you ask my personal opinion of this, to me it looks like money laundering. I don't know how else to say that. That is the impression I get when I read this story. And you follow all of the different companies and the way they're being paid and taking over one another, then separating from each other, then coming back. And the money is going from one to the other, even though it's supposed to be owned by the same couple. Yeah, something doesn't smell right about that. Absolutely not. There are red flags all over the place with this story. And of course, the fact that Lauren Boebert conveniently didn't disclose any of this. Yeah, that's the final and major red flag of all of this. And it leads me to believe, again, personally, my opinion here, that this isn't on the level. If it were, I don't think she would have had an issue reporting it. I think she wanted to not report it because there really appears, in my opinion, again, to be something screwy going on here. And I would like answers. And I'm sure the FBI would also like answers as to whether or not these two individuals are somehow laundering money between the two of them, and maybe even the energy company. Again, this whole story smells fishy. There's a good chance it's all on the level. And they're just doing this for tax purposes. Oh, no, it's got to go through the LLC, not this other one. Yeah, it happens. It's perfectly legal. But then why omit it, right? That's what doesn't make sense if this was all on the level. The truth will eventually come out. Investigations have been launched, including an investigation as to how Lauren Boebert managed to travel 38,000 miles almost 1.5 times the circumference of the earth, in just the state of Colorado during her campaign, for which she was able to reimburse herself tens of thousands of dollars. None of this makes any sense. None of this looks legit. And hopefully, federal authorities are looking into this so that we can get some answers about what the hell is happening with Lauren Boebert's finances.